Yeah. Yeah. The paradox.
I feel like I've got to do it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's done it.
The paradox of choice is an observation that having many options to choose from, rather than making people happy and ensuring they get what they want, can cause them stress and problematize decision making. As a consequence, decision making processes can become stalled or non existent. In actual fact, we're all kind of living in a world now where there is so much choice, we don't know what to choose. Too much. Welcome to the Elite Thinking Club, everyone, everywhere. I'm Chris George Julian, and I'm joined by Liz and Michael. How you doing, guys?
Very good. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. Yeah, not too bad. I came across this on the... What are you drinking, Liz? Tea. Cheers.
Green tea with jasmine.
Oh, awesome. I'm doing normal English tea with oat milk. You know,
well, as we're sharing, I'm drinking sweetened soy.
Lovely. Look at us all being so, you know.
Isn't it? It's the choices we have.
Oh, yes, that was great. Example.
Yeah. Wait, before we get into this, we are going to be exploring the paradox of choice. But before we do, just want to say you cannot change anything unless you're willing to understand it, and you cannot understand it unless you're willing to explore it. A good debate doesn't get ugly. We may talk of things that make people feel vulnerable. Beliefs held sacred may be challenged because of life experiences, but we're not trying to make people wrong or to incite riot, but simply explore. Welcome to the Elite Thinking Club. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. We're at 249 subscribers right now. So yes, like when we first started.
Be the special 250.
Who's going to be the number 250? But also,
Isn't
thank
that
you.
halfway to your tattoo, Michael?
Yeah.
ETC. Yes, it is. Come on, guys. Yeah. We need to get it to 500.
500 subscribers. Exactly. So share it as well. Let other people know about us and what we do, because Michael's going to get the tattoo. And then also, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing a live episode at Canooden Church. If you haven't done so already, watch the episode on ghost stories. And yeah, we're going to be going live at Canooden. Michael, what was that? What were you going to say?
I think I mentioned a rude comment talking about Canooden.
When?
Oh, okay.
What?
The cupboard thing, the cupboards. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I can't remember. Okay. Is it? All right.
Anyway.
Yes. Right. Michael v. and Michael. But yes. So, thank you. 250 subscribers is awesome. Halfway to getting Michael's tattoo when we get 500, and a quarter of the way to doing the live episode at Canooden to see the reaction from me, Liz, and Michael, and Mads, who isn't here tonight, but that's all right. We're going to talk about something, though, that I came across the other day on TikTok. This girl was explaining that there is a paradox of choice that we currently live in. So right now, the current climate, for example, let's do some examples, good examples of this. There are people very, very, what it is, right? Apparently, we have the capacity to only make a certain amount of decisions a day. And what we're doing currently is using those not to the best of our abilities. For example, there are some people on this planet who decide what they want to wear, and they decide to wear the same thing every day. Not the same clothes, but the same thing. So they only wear black socks, for example. They know that they have the same underwear, for example. They know they wear the same style of trousers and the same color of trousers and t-shirt every day, because what they don't want to do when they wake up in the morning is use their capacity of numbers. So let's say you only get 30 decisions a day. They don't want to be using what color socks am I going to wear, what trousers am I going to wear, what t-shirt am I going to wear, what jacket am I going to wear, or jumper am I going to wear. That's 5 in and you've only got 25 left. So they know that. So they literally live their life to only make the decisions they need to make, because the paradox of choice is actually paralyzing us. Like, there are people out there who get overwhelmed by choice to the point where they break down, like they actually freak out. Like, I can't make a decision. Why not? It's easy. Just make a decision. I can't, because I don't know what to choose.
That. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
They really struggle, and they get so overwhelmed they end up not making the decision or passing it over and saying, you decide. I don't want to decide, you decide. Because just the thought of making the choice is just because they've got too much there to choose. So it's like they can't. So they'd rather not make the choice at all.
For real. Have you ever been to a restaurant and the menu's massive? There's like over 160 dishes. It's like,
I actually prefer it if you go somewhere and it's got like one signature dish and then a couple of different choices, and I'm like, oh yeah, I already know what I'm gonna have because that one stands out to me. Whereas when you've got a whole section where you've got like 12 different things, I'm like, oh, I want them all at once. I forget the fact I can come back again, because in that moment where I've got to make that choice, that specific thing that I'm going to be eating, I'm like, oh, I want to pick that one, but then I want that one, but then I want, and cake, don't even get me started on that. If I go into a place and there's, when we went to that place, Jules, I was like, oh, and I ended up going with the colourful one. That's how I made my choice. And because sometimes we make funny excuses for making our choice as well. Like I'll be like, oh, I like the name of it, or I like the colour of it, because it's like it simplifies me making that choice. I know that sounds silly, but that's how I sometimes cope with being overwhelmed with the choice. I have to like make a specification about it. So I'm like, that looks pretty, so I'm having that. Or, I like the name of that, that it's just, so yeah, it is overwhelming, definitely.
And it is a legit thing, especially now, this day and age. And it doesn't just affect things like deciding what cake you want or what clothes you're going to wear. This goes deeper than that. This goes so deep.
Think of all the big choices we have to make in life.
For real. And this is like what was highlighted on the video I watched. And you know what? I'm gonna have to start sharing these videos so people can see what I'm referring it to. And I think that's what I will do. That start season 4 or something next year. We'll start showing clips of things. But yeah, basically what she was saying was that there was a girl who was throwing away relationships because the element of choice now for her was so overwhelming. She could choose so many guys. So it isn't even that she could find a guy who's so good for her, but in the back of her mind, it was, but I have the choice that, there's I have a choice that I can choose someone else. They're not heavily invested in their decision, and they won't make the decision, like the decision to commit, because you've got choice. You can just
swipe.
For real. It's like, I can just get the next one and the next one. And then that made me think about myself. It made me think about myself. I thought in my head, like, is that what I'm like? Am I not committing because I know in my head that
there's more out there?
Like it isn't a big deal if it don't work. Because now this is something I heard about. Us as humans only have the capacity to have 100 acquaintances. Okay, so the issue we currently have is you can only think of 100 people. So most people will split it up. You'll have your family, you'll have your friends, you'll have your work people, and that sort of stuff. There used to be a time when that's all you needed to worry about. Okay, and maybe you'd have like some social occasion like church or whatever it is you do, like a hobby, sports, football team, whatever, and you'd have like extra people, but you can only really do 100. Because of social media and this follow, like, connect, friends, all these different buttons that now keep people connected, it's overwhelming. And it feels awkward to feel like, I know them, but I don't know them. I ain't spoke to them in like 2 years. Because back in the day, because you don't have the capacity to keep that relationship. So that's why some fizzle out. And people feel weird about that. They feel guilty about that, but you shouldn't. It's meant to fizzle out.
That's part of life.
For real. Like you're supposed to fizzle out. Now this is the issue. Because of social media and all that, you're still connected. You're still,
and you're also almost forcing those connections because you think, because of the click of the button, you think you should, follow or interact with them. But actually in real life, if you take away the social media side, would you have the time? No, you wouldn't. We don't, like you say, we don't have the capacity, so we wouldn't. So
that's why I got the cheat code. I only wear one brand of socks. My boxers, I literally, whatever's the top pair of boxers, I just take that. My jumpers, I literally open a cupboard, whatever jumper's there, I take it.
No, you
T-shirts.
But seriously, like,
that's why sometimes I got the wrong jumper on
the likes of Simon Cowell and Mark Zuckerberg and people like that, they literally, you know, I've heard people say when the like X Factor and Britain's Got Talent and things like shows like that were on, people would say, how come Simon Cowell always wears, you know,
Yeah.
like a black t-shirt or whatever, a white t-shirt and jeans? Like, he's got loads of money. Why doesn't he have, why isn't he suited and booted or this, that? Why does he only wear a suit for the live, you know, for the live final and things like that? And I think about it, like, he doesn't care. He doesn't
No.
care what he wears. He just he doesn't even waste his energy when he wakes up in the morning and worry about what he looks like. He doesn't even bother to bring that choice reference into his brain. It's like, boom, boom, just got clothes covering my bits up so that I'm not done for indecent
Apart from his
exposure. And, you know, and off he goes about his day making his millions.
Honestly,
So,
some of the most successful
smart,
people on the
really.
planet. Yes, some of the most successful people on the planet.
They will wear the most plainest clothes.
Because they don't care about those decisions. They're not important decisions to them.
Exactly. But we are conditioned to think that it is. And people get in a tizzy. Oh, do I wear that belt with that dress? Do I need a jacket when I go out? Do these shoes go? Oh, I'm going to change 5 minutes before going out the door. I've got to change because I don't look right. It's like you've just made about 17 decisions right there.
And it can also cause that anxiety.
There you go.
Right? You've got so much choice that it's creating anxiety within yourself. So talking about clothes to wear, like you can literally take it to another place where, like, for example, deciding on a new car. If there wasn't so much option, you wouldn't overthink it. Whereas now there's this, you know what I mean? You can almost not buy a car. There's one that's suited for you.
And we get put off. Off because we go away and we're like,
it's such a big decision to make.
Compare it to that. Oh, there's too many comparisons. And you end up feeling like, because of the comparisons, that if you do make a choice, it might not be the right one and you might not get the best car. So you end up thinking you're going to make the wrong choice. And then you think, oh, I'll just think about it in 6 months' time. I don't actually need a new car right now.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
like I mentioned earlier, I get that with phones, because I work with phones. So many people come in and they can't decide which phone to get. So they spend, I mean, earlier on I was with, not phones, but tablets. I was with an older lady earlier on. She was in the shop for about an hour, talked about all these different tablets. You know which one she walked out with?
What?
None.
Oh man,
you're gonna think about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I do as well. There's so many. Like,
if you just said to her, like, I've got 2 tablets, this one or that one, she would have had. She could have just said, "All right, I'll have that one because it's better than that one." Yeah. But because you presented her with maybe 10 or 20, she's just like, "I've got to go home and think about it. I don't know out of the 10 or 20 which one's the best ones." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to push Samsung, so Samsung listening.
It sounds silly, but like sometimes, well, like with my phone, I get offered, you know, a new phone with my contract and stuff. But a lot of I haven't actually upgraded for the past few years because there's nothing wrong with my phone. I like it. I'm used to it. And I actually try and simplify my life a little bit. Because I am one of these people that does get overwhelmed sometimes, because I find I have so many decisions to make in a day, because I'm not only making my own decisions, I'm making my family's decisions as well. And that can be a lot when I'm trying to think what's best for them, what's best for me. And then I have quite a few friends who will be like, you decide, you decide, you're good at making decisions. I'm like, yeah. So then I'm like, sometimes for myself, I try and simplify it. So I won't bother going to look for a new phone unless mine's actually broke. There you go, done. Don't need to worry about that, because I think as well, when I'm presented with all those different choices, no. And when I bought a new TV, all I knew I wanted was I wanted to be able to have certain things on there and to be able to do certain things on it. So when I went into the shop, I was like, I just looked around quickly and I thought, right, I like the look of that one, so I'm just going to ask about that one. And I did. And the guy that served me, he was like, yeah, this is blah, 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 blah. I went through the spec. And then he said, we do have a similar one, but it does this. It's got a sound bar, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, that's fine. This one's fine. I don't know about that. This one's fine. Because otherwise I would have gone from each one, reading each bit.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't, the too much information
I was going to
just want to
say,
purchase.
there's
Like,
that pressure of feeling like you could make the wrong decision, because then you have to live with that wrong
yes.
decision. So this
Yeah.
this element of choice is such a paradox, because we live in a day and time where there is just so much choice that people won't make a choice. They won't.
Yeah.
And
See, I'm the
I
other
think
side.
if people struggle.
I'm the other side, which is if I get choice, I just like say crisps. There's so many crisps to decide. So if I get to that point, I just buy all the crisps that I can see. So I just go overboard.
I just think if people that are watching this or listening like do struggle with making choices, I think you just need to
text me. I'll let you know.
Just try and easier said than done, I know, but just try and simplify it. So like with me, with the TV, with purchasing the TV, I went based on price. So I knew my budget and I went and headed over to the ones in the area that were that price, and I found the one that was the exact price range, and I was like, right, I'm going to look at this, I'm going to read this stuff, and that way it just kind of cut out everything else. And for me, and it's the same with when I said about cake and things like that, sometimes I go with color, sometimes I'll go with the name, because otherwise if I don't, I will be standing there for ages and the shop assistant is just gonna be like, hello.
Yeah. And is that probably why? Is that why some people are happy with letting someone else make the decision?
Because it's easier. It makes them feel then I'm not wrong and I'm not right in my decision making because they chose it for me. My friend does that to me a lot. She'll be like, what are you having to eat? And I'll tell her and she goes, yeah, I love what you eat. Everything you eat is delicious. So I'm going to have the same as you. And I'm like, but then sometimes because I want something else on the menu as well, I'm like, well, you get that, I'll get this. We do this all the time, and then we can share half and half. So I get to taste that and you get to taste that, and that way we've both got our choices and we've got an extra choice. Brilliant.
Doesn't it also like take the blame off if it's bad? Like if you make the wrong choice, they're not actually making that decision.
You get that. You chose to come here, you chose to watch this play, you chose this film, you know, it is
the blamers. They'll blame you because you made the choice, not them. And it's like,
But then my comeback would always be, well, at least I made the choice.
Right.
Yeah, I live with them people. Like my cousin, whenever we go out and eat anything, I'm like, what do you want? Oh, just get me what you get. But we've got like, first I've got to pick the place that we go. Then I've got to pick what we eat. It's like,
see, even the way I don't mind picking like for me. Angst.
Yeah,
that's it.
I can pick for me because I'll buy when I go to McDonald's or something. I buy so much stuff. I end up throwing a lot of it away anyway. Just because if I've got a choice, I'll just buy all of it. If it's A or B and I can't decide, I'll buy A and B.
That's where we've got to, though, isn't it?
I was going to say that.
We have the access to all of these things. We also, you know, certain things we have the capacity to buy multiple choices because of the prices or what have you. You know, and I think that also isn't really a good thing, because then it takes away that element of the element of wonder, like, I can have that next time. And you go away, you thinking, and you look forward to it, and the luxury of being able to have it next time.
Yeah, but I might be dead by the next time, so I just don't know.
Michael.
But I was actually going to say that. I was going to say, like, what does that stem? Like, this paradox of choice stems some issues that are really, we don't, you know, I want to go deep into it. I do want to look into it deeper because it's actually having a massive effect on, I also keep saying next generations, but it does create in us, like, even not next generations, that myself included and everyone else, you know, we're all kind of saying it's the natural evolution of what we're becoming, but it isn't. It's something to be, you know, mental health, it's like it all kind of intertwines with it, you know, it all kind of, like, is this one of the issues that's causing people to kind of freak out and lose their shit? Because this overwhelming world of choice, so much choice, to the point where it's now, well, who's gonna, like, how can we monitor this? What's the safest way to go about this? Like, why am I faced with so much choice? Like, I'm faced with so much choice. Life changing.
I notice it with children. Like, when you sit there and say innocent things like, oh, what do you think you'd like for Christmas? It's like, I don't know. When I was a kid, I knew, because there wasn't all of what's on the shelves Now, when I was little, I mean, there was stuff on the shelves. I'm not talking like ancient times here, but you know, like I would be like, oh my God, I want a Malibu Barbie, or I want, do you know what I mean? I want those roller skates. It would always, but I find kids nowadays, if they talk about stuff, it's either I want this, or there's so much that their little brains can't comprehend. They're like, I don't know, maybe I should go to a shop and have a look at what's on the shelves. And I'm like, and even when kids are in the shop and say they've got some money for their birthday and they want to go spend it, there's so much choice on the shelves. I see they're overwhelming. They're literally, and they end up getting in a tizzy about it because I don't know what to pick, Mum. I don't know what to pick. Do I get that or do I get that? Or how much have I got left over? Can I get that and that? Or do I, because if I get that, then I have to come back and get that. And it's like, well, the world's not going to end right now. I don't think, not tonight, you know, you will be able to come back and get Batman. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, and I feel sorry for them sometimes because I think, I remember getting excited over like one big thing.
Yeah.
And now it's sad. I think it's quite sad. Because that saying, too much of something isn't necessarily a good thing, is it?
No. Yeah. I just, you know what? I just came across it and I was like, this is important. The paradox of choice. What hit me the most was when it stemmed down to the relationships. We've lost Michael, but when it
he'll be back
out. But yeah, the relationship thing, it helped me understand where we're at, because it's changing. Times are changing. People are harping on about it, but it is essential to try and, I want to understand it. I want to know like why it is that we're going through this process of lack of values now. Like the choice, whereas before you wouldn't have had so much choice, you would have held on to what you had more. You would have valued it more. Whereas you
also wouldn't have thought some thoughts that you probably think because of the elements that are out there that you wouldn't have seen before, you know. Like when you have something presented to you, if you don't have it presented to you, you're not going to see or think those things that you see or think when it's presented. So I think that we should, you know, I think we should just simplify things more in our lives. People who are the happiest live the simplest lives. Like they don't overcomplicate things and they're so happy. And I aspire to be like that.
Yeah.
Because I just think that's a wonderful way of living. You know, the people who don't care if they live in a hut or a house, you know, they don't care if they have a car or a bike. They're just happy as long as they can go and be, you know. And yeah, I just think that you often, like whenever I watch these documentaries of these people that are like living on islands and stuff, they are so happy and positive, and they're little tribes of people. They don't have depression. They all come together as a community. Like they don't know about half the things that are going on in the world. Everything is just stripped back and more simple, and their choices, their level of daily basis are so minimal. Like, do we get 5 coconuts from the tree today or just 2? You know, it's like it's so minimal, their choices, and their choices don't feel that extreme.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think we have too much going on for our brains already when we wake up in the morning, let alone the element of choice being difficult. Choice shouldn't be difficult.
It really shouldn't.
Choice should be easy. We should be able to go, do you know what? Yeah, no, I'm going to make a decision. I can decide this. Yes, I know what's good for me. That. Like, we shouldn't be standing there like, but it's because we're presented with so much.
Yeah.
Have you seen that program? There's a program called, and I keep hearing about it. I haven't personally watched it. I've seen a snippet of it, and it's that like Married at First Sight. Like,
I've heard about this show.
It just fascinates me because like how we are living and what you've brought up today, you know, today's topic, it just fascinates me that anybody would would in this day and age be able to do that because of the choice that's out there, like that they would be able to just so willingly like it straight away at first sight. I mean, I know there's other like concepts to the program, but anyway, yeah, it just fascinates me. You know, if you met a girl, Jules,
Right.
and you know, spent time, valued and everything, and it was you know, there wasn't that many people around, I genuinely do believe that statistically you would have a better chance of it working than if you were presented with 5 women and you could see each 5 women and then you were like, oh, you pick one. Because you've seen all 5 and then you make the choice of one, you're constantly going to be remembering the other 4 and thinking, oh, God, would that one have been better at that? Would that one have been good at this? Or would that one have been on my level? Like, so that's the issue, isn't it?
It's a big issue because I get presented with more than 5, Liz, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Big head.
Well, then how are you even?
This is what smacks it.
No, deal with the day.
Right, that's a joke, but here's a serious one. When you do that, and this is what I said earlier about like you know you do. I saw this TikTok and I questioned it. I said, this is so true. Imagine you find someone who's really good at cooking, like make the best food. You think, oh my God, this is it. But there's other elements to them that aren't so great. And then you went on another date with someone else who you can't cook, right? But they're good at something else, deep conversation, like for example, holding conversation. There's someone else out there who just looks flipping stunning, like 10, all that stuff, but she smokes or something like that. If there isn't so much choice, you wouldn't look at all them parts and make such a big deal of it. And you're absolutely right in what you just said there, Lee. I'm just elaborating on it. It's very heartbreaking. And when you go into relationships and you're thinking in the back of your mind, like, I've got the element of choice. Like maybe I should go on another date. Maybe I should just keep going. There are hundreds of fish in the sea, but that's a problem. Plenty more fish in the sea. That is a problem. If there was no more fish in the sea, you'd settle with what you got. Yeah.
It devalues that person, doesn't it? And not even the other side, it's just purely because there's so much out there. And also with the choice issue comes the comparison issue. Because we have so much choice, we are constantly comparing. And I know, like if you buy a car, you got one there. If you compare the two, it's easier to make a decision. You're constantly comparing. But when there's so much more out there, like you just said, one girl cooks, one girl this, one girl that. You've already named 3 or 4 like different comparisons there.
Yeah, but I don't like it. My missus does all of it, so I've got the best choice of all of them.
Oh yes, but we're not.
So because we can make a choice.
Yeah.
Because there is that choice, I know that I made the best choice.
Yeah.
That's nice. That is nice.
Yeah, and that's great, and that's what we need more of. Definitely.
I'm definitely
what we need to instill that in the younger generation as well, because I think that I feel sorry for the generations that are coming up, because we are from generations where we didn't have all of the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook. We would go out and meet girls and meet guys, and we'd hang around, you know, we'd go to youth club, we'd do all of that sort of thing. That's how we had our Facebook. Let's be honest, you know, that's how you knew if someone liked you then, was not because of a like on Facebook, but because of a like at the youth club or what have you. And I just think it's really sad, because they're going to grow up thinking that what they see on Insta is real.
I was going to say that,
comparing themselves.
Yeah,
this world and the element of choice.
Yeah, that's the image thing. When you said about that Marry at First Sight program, I couldn't do it personally because I need to meet someone in order to engage the chemistry. Like I need to feel. You get what I mean? Like I can't do the Tinder dating swiping thing because I see what I see, but do I feel what it is? You get what I mean? I could meet that person in the flesh and be like, wow, like I don't feel the chemistry. I don't. Yeah, the attraction.
I did that a few times.
Do you know what I mean?
Girls that I just didn't click with. So
and there's nothing wrong with that. That's natural. You're meant to
I also think that naturally we are meant to connect with people, but we are also meant to build foundations. So like back in the day of our grandparents and things like that, they would you know, meet locally, they would be friends, they would court, and then they'd be married, and they'd be happy that way, you know. And it was very simple, because they would build something that grew, or, you know, and it would be worthwhile and meaningful. Whereas I feel like a lot of meaningfulness is taken out of our lives in this day and age purely due to choice.
Yeah, my granddad met my nan at a dance hall.
Exactly. And they became friends and then courted and all of that. Whereas, you know, they wouldn't have done the whole swipe thing. That's not how meaningfulness really. I'm not saying that people don't meet off there. Of course they have done. There's been successful romances and marriages from Match.com and what have you. But I think now it's had its day, personally. But
just there's a quite a funny fact about Match.com. Did you know that the guy that invented Match.com, his missus actually found someone on Match.com and left?
Yeah.
Oh, heartbreaking.
Then what he created, took his wife away. Yeah. But I just think with that sort of thing, we overthink it because of the choice. You know, my single friends that will sit there and they'll be like, well, I just won't accept this, and I just can't have this. I'm like, but what's making you think that? Like, where did you reach that decision? So, wow. And then, you know, when you break it down, it all comes down to that there's too much that they're comparing because of all this different. Well, yeah, it's got.
You just nailed it, Liz.
It's got to be this.
People will stay single longer. There's this whole, I say pandemic, but it's not a pandemic, but there's a generation of people who are reaching 30 to 40, that generation where they're still single, haven't settled down, haven't got themselves kids. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're now justifying it. We're just saying, you know, it's okay to still be this way and that way. Just, you know, live your own life, live your best life, whatever. It's like, cool, that's fine and all that. But you've got to understand some of the fundamentals of that. It's because you still believe or still think that you've got this element of choice. You're going to be choosing for the rest of your life, or not choosing for the rest of your life. You're going to be single at 60 and someone's going to turn around and justify it. Like, yeah, that's okay. That's our generation. What? All still Tindering at 60?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, the bingo hall. Woo.
It's definitely going to be about like our generations won't change. Like that will still be like the Match.com of the 60-year-olds. But it's now like, okay, short-lived or no, fast-lived life. You know, like you can live 5 different lifetimes now, whereas I guess older generations didn't have so much choice, so they didn't live as much. They kind of just lived one life. Whereas, you know, now you can live multiple lives.
Yeah. I mean, going back to like not choosing, I was just before the COVID hit, I got a tax rebate. So I was like, oh, should we go like somewhere in Europe or America? I was picking. We took so long to decide, we ended up not booking it. And then COVID hit, and then all my money went on bills. So because, I mean, the only time I did think about choice.
Yeah.
And I got.
That's a great example. That really is.
Indecision, like indecisive because of
I struggle
choice,
with
so much choice, selection.
Dinner time. Sometimes at dinner time, I'm like, what shall I make? And I go blank.
Yeah.
And then I end up doing something that we had like a couple of days ago because it's easy, because it's quick, because I know it.
Yeah,
I know
probably remember it.
I know I've got the vegetables. Yeah, and it's just like, oh, I said I was going to do, and then as I'm cooking it, I'm like, oh, I wanted to do that recipe, but because the thought of having to choose what I was going to decide to have, what everybody was going to have in the household, it overwhelmed me because I thought, for some reason, I rushed myself. I'm like, oh, quick, I've got to get dinner on. And it's just like, pick
so
the easy option.
Yeah, what are some of the solutions? Like we've talked about all the problems, but let's talk about some of the solutions. So I know that some people make lists of what they're going to eat. They actually do like a food diary, like Monday is this, Tuesday is this,
I'm going to
Wednesday
start doing it. I am. Yep.
And that helps because you don't want to have to keep on the spot decision making is so obviously when okay, when you go to the supermarket, when you buy your groceries, do you go with a list?
No.
Okay, so you just walk around and whatever you think of, you grab.
Yeah, and I kind of buy similar stuff because I know what kind of eat. Yeah.
Do you end up forgetting things, or do you get home and think, oh, I forgot that?
The odd thing I'll forget.
We always overbuy.
Right. Are you also set in your routine of food? Do you know like what you would normally go through per week or month? I don't know when you.
I'm kind of like that, but I also get like ad hoc stuff as well, and like I'll see stuff and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try that. So I kind of mix it up a little bit each time. I try and add something different each time.
I'm just there for the adventure.
I love that.
I'm just there waiting for Tom Hardy to walk in the store, even though I live nowhere near him. But yeah,
I'm there for the adventure.
I don't cook, so she cooks, so I just go there to put in my 2 pence, really.
It's brilliant, mate. You people watch, Michael. I can imagine you going to supermarkets to see.
I get annoyed with people.
I'll tell you what, there is this guy that sits outside my Tesco's and he talks to everyone. Everyone knows this guy. He's so loud and he talks random, but everyone loves him because he's that local guy that is just always sat outside Tesco's being loud. And you know what the funny thing is? You know when you're kids and like you could tell them something funny, like, oh yeah, we're going to Tesco's. They will remember that guy. That all throughout their lives, there was this crazy guy that used to sit outside. I still remember the guy. I still like to see the guy every now and then. He's not always there, but he's always there.
I am going to be a little old lady like that one day.
With pink hair.
That's the dream. Yeah.
I saw a video.
Are you going to cut your hair? Yeah, so you're going to cut pink hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Spiky.
I can see
Definitely. Oi.
I saw a video of an old lady on one of those scooters, right? She just goes around this same shop and just shoplifts, like blatantly, just grabs the stuff and puts it in the basket and tries to drive out. And I think it's because she needs the excitement. I know that sounds mean, but she's just like, "What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" And starts revving up her scooter and starts driving out. So I think they've got bored of trying to chase her and bring her in. She's like, "Come on in, take her down to the police station." What's she gonna get? Sentenced for life. She's got like 5 years left. She's just like, yeah, whatever.
That is so gonna be me. I'm gonna be doing all sorts. Oh my god!
She must wake up.
That film Gangster Granny.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's a kids' film, and I just think, yeah, that's the way to go. When you're that old, you might as well.
Yeah, we have to give her a shopping list.
She must wake up.
75-inch telly. A PS5.
That's it.
I might take her to the well-being store. She might save me a few bucks.
What smacks it is she wakes up in the morning and thinks, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's what I'm doing today. I'm going to that shop and I'm
going on the rob."
It'd be so funny if she starts wearing like a striped top
with a swag bag.
Yeah, I was going to say, with a swag bag with like a patch over the eye.
Oh, brilliant! And she just doesn't care. She's like, "Yeah, whatever."
Well, she's made her choice not to care.
Yeah, she's made her choice not to care. Yes, that's the answer. See, simplify, but also take the element of worry and caring like out of your choice. And then maybe you would make your choice easier, quicker, and with less stress and worrying about whether you've made the right choice.
You know, it's funny you say that. This morning I was listening to this motivational speech, and one of the things that he said was, live every day like your last, because one day it will be.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, you can only take that with a grain of salt.
Yes, of course.
I'm not going to jump off a bridge like, I'm going to die tomorrow anyway. So.
I must admit, when I am around people who struggle a lot with the decision making and making a choice, I do actually learn from them, because although I have elements of my day where I will be overwhelmed by different choices, like when I've had job offers and I've had you've got 2 come in because you've gone to several interviews and you don't expect to get offered. You in your head you're like, I'll get offered 1 out of all of them. You're presented with 2 and you're like, that and you got to narrow it down. Well, which is the better pension? Which is the better this? And yeah, I when I watch other people make choices, it helps me with my choices, because when they really struggle and when they often pass it to me or to somebody else in the room, I kind of do sit there and think, right, I need to try and be better with myself, and not, because I see them really struggle with it to the point where they cannot make the decision, and they don't even want to allow the thought of making the decision in their brain. Like, I don't want to get to that point of overwhelming, because I think that it's very hard to like deal with every day feeling like that. So, and you know, about big decisions, little decisions, whatever, like and to feel in a group when you're out, I don't want to have that on me, like that's not a nice feeling. So I kind of try and learn from that, so that I can write my lists or whatever I have to do to try and make myself a bit better at making my choices, because I don't want to get to a point where I struggle that hard, you know.
Yeah. We don't want to allow yourself to get to a person who can't make a decision.
Yeah.
Some of the choices that people make as well narrow down the answer. Some of the best decision makers are just yes or no. If it's not a yes, it's a no. If it's not a no, it's a yes. You know what I mean? It's your immediate response sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of people will tell you to take a time and think about it. That overthinking is what ruins the process. That shouldn't be happening.
The time you're spending thinking is what's ruining the choice in the first place. Sometimes I'll say, you know, to my friends, to my family, well, you overdo or you don't. And when I say that, they're like, oh no, I don't want to go there, straight away. And then like, so you didn't then? Yeah, but I didn't know what to say. So it's like, right, because I presented you with, you either do or you don't. It was so simple for them because it was one or the other. But in their head, they're thinking of one, other, this. But actually, all of the this was their overthinking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
It's
We should carry a deciding coin around with us.
Yeah, they used to do that, didn't they? Years and years and years ago. You know, guys would just walk around, right? He's buying the next drink or whatever, or we're gonna fight this outside, heads, tails, boom.
Yeah. Because it's quick, it's decision making, it's yes or no. And even if it's not the choice you wanted,
every day of your life was based on the flip of a coin.
But it creates the other, because you know what? Let's do it for a week.
For a day.
For a day, one day.
Yeah, for a day.
Whether or not you do it or not.
Oh my gosh, what an experiment.
It will definitely change your life.
What an experiment. And you probably do things you wouldn't normally decide to do.
100%.
Yeah. I just won't think of any questions.
That's amazing.
Yeah, careful. Do I get on the train to London today? Ding. Yes. Okay. What about all the housework? No.
Oh my God. But imagine though, I know this sounds, imagine you get on that train and then you meet somebody on that train and it changes your life, or you bump into an old friend and then you end up in business with them, or you just, it's mad.
Yeah. And future decisions are normally made on past experiences. So to get on that train takes a lot of balls for someone that's lived longer. For someone who hasn't lived so long, it doesn't take that much decision making. It's like, of course, it's an adventure. I will go at the age of 10. I don't know no better. Whereas at the age of 25, you may consider, well, if I get on that train, it involves all of these things. And you literally overthink in your head the scenarios.
Everything is so much more exciting to children as well. Because as you get older, you're making more decisions. But as children, you have your decisions made for you.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going here today. Oh, we're taking you there. We're doing this. We're doing that. Oh, wow. Yeah. Woo. Because
optimistic.
But then as they get older and they're like, oh, I've got to get a part-time job, or I've got to pick what I'm studying. I've got to pick what I want to do in life. I don't know. It's like they start getting, down about it. And there's like, oh, I don't know what to choose. I don't know what. And it's just like, oh, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So,
the paradox.
I think I've messed up in life because I'm completely opposite on anything. When I was a kid, because my parents decided what I did, I didn't like it. Now I'm an adult and I can do what I want. Life is brilliant. I've had a lot of shit happen to my life, and I can still say, I'm at a funeral tomorrow, and I can still say, life is still great.
Yeah.
I regret losing her, obviously. I lost my mum, but I mean, I was going to lose on it. Well, I could die today as well. So I just need to enjoy life.
Yeah, man. For real.
100%. 100%. 100%.
So
Definitely.
every day to me is a bonus. I watched my superhero dad die. So every day I've lived past it, it's just a bonus.
Yeah.
So
100%.
that's why I can make these choices and just go, well,
Boom, boom, boom.
If something goes wrong, it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? I'm either going to die or owe some money.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life. Like when I talk to people, if they don't pay my rent and they can't ground me, then it doesn't matter.
But I do love your outlook on life, Michael, because your life has made you who you are. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've got a brilliant life.
I must admit, when it comes to big things in life, like big decisions, I find I'm very matter of fact. I know yes or no. I don't overthink big things. It's the silly little things that I'm like, oh, what should I have for dinner? Oh, I don't know. Like shall I have that cake? It's just silly things for me. Like but other things I do kind of strip it back and I'm like, I know what I want. I'm going in there. It's that price range. Boom. That's it. Let's not overcomplicate it. Because I think when I watch other people get in such a tizzy and they're overcomplicating and overthinking, I think I can't do it. I just haven't got enough time to do it. So yeah.
Some of the big life-changing decisions I've come across, I trust my gut. My gut's really good at that. It's like,
my intuition,
this is the time to listen to the intuition.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to the mediocre
some
thing,
people, if they're not as tuned in to their intuition, you know, that's where they maybe struggle with making that big decision in life. Because I've got friends that are really they make flip decisions like that on things that don't matter, but the big things, they're like, oh my god, and it's like mega drama. It's like mega to them. But everybody's
see,
different.
I've got two things that are going. One, I'm quite privileged, so most of the time my missus will just cook for me anyway, so I don't have to think about it. It's just done. When she doesn't cook for me, I'm lazy. So the first thing I do is I just go, I'll just get that. First thing I see, right, I'll open a cupboard, right, I'll do that. So I've either got privilege
you've simplified
or
it for yourself. You've simplified it for yourself. You don't even give yourself that element of choice. In fact, really, you're just like, whatever's right in front of me, boom. Which is, I think, how things were back in the day, really, when people were happier. 100% people were happier scientifically. Like, it's in our history. People were happier when there was less. And
for real,
everything was simple.
And it's always the little decisions that make the most headaches. You go for a new pair of trainers. You want to go out, you want to check out, see what's in the stores, see what's in the windows. You want to see out a new pair of trainers, try on a pair of trainers, and you just so much choice.
Yeah, that's why I take that out of it. I just buy Salomon. I don't even think about Salomon every time.
Right, and then like same with like mobile phone. What's your next phone?
I kind of get why people do that now. You know, sometimes people say, how come you only ever wear that red jacket? And it's like, well, red's my favorite color and it just makes it easier when I go shopping. I think, yes, I get that now. Or like, you know, sometimes like my friends say to me, oh my god, I love those boots, they're really out there. And I'm like, yep, that's why I got them, because they're out there. I just got them because it just made it easier for me. I don't want to look at all the other ones like, no, boom, done. Like, I can see why people, you know, say, oh, I only buy in that brand, or I only go to that shop. I haven't been there.
Last time I bought shoes, sorry, it was I then had a choice because I buy Salomon, so then it was a choice of black or red. I couldn't make the decision, so I bought both.
Oh, Michael, you crap.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody has that choice to buy both. So
no, that's what I said.
That's what I mean. In that, if they were in the position where it was black or red, it literally is. It's one or the other. Boom.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So but then when you imagine you've got black, red, yellow, green, blue, yellow, whatever, orange, it's then your mind's like, whoa, I don't know.
I'm colorblind, so it doesn't matter to me.
Well, yeah.
But the good news is, though, it can work good and bad. It's just a paradox because
Yeah,
so
of
much choice
course.
now. It's just so much choice that it's leading people into this state of, I don't know what to decide because I can't decide. There's too much to decide on. But then obviously if you are simplifying your life, keeping it simple, you're going to be all right. And you're going to be all right. I love it. And trust your instincts as well. Gut instincts. Massive.
Yeah.
And
Right.
if you don't do any of that, keep a coin in your pocket and flip a coin.
Yes.
Take the night thing, just
leave it to fate. Leave it to fate.
Leave it to fate. What is meant to be will be.
Love it. Right,
Some
guys.
people actually live like that, don't they?
I think I might start
like
to. If I can't make a decision, I'll flip a coin.
Yeah, there you go.
Or just text someone. Just text some random person and go yes or no. And then see what you get back.
Oh my God. But then you're going to get the paradox thing because they'll go, well, what am I being asked?
Oh, yeah.
What if I say
that,
yes? What if I say no?
Yeah, I get it. When I ask someone, they want to know details and all this other stuff.
Oh, dear.
I love that.
They want to know what they're agreeing to.
Yeah,
What they're
exactly.
up for.
Well, come on. If you get a random text of yes or no, okay.
Yes, I'd answer that. I'll just
will I end up? So I'll just be like, will I end up dead? Is it gonna? How much is it gonna cost me? And yeah.
If you received that text, what would you message back?
I'd just say yes.
Of course.
Live once.
Yes, YOLO.
Yes.
YOLO or FOMO?
I would. I'm terrible. Actually, I'm good at making decisions because I often get messages from my friends. I thought of you. I know you'll come. I know you'll say yes. Yep. Yeah, I knew you'd say yes. Yep. So yeah, I must be good at making decisions. Actually, making your choice.
I don't like making decisions for other people. That's one of the.
Well,
I don't like doing that.
Responsibility, then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not.
But
I don't like that.
You do make decisions for other people because, like, you'll say, "Oh, we'll go to this cafe because it's my favorite cafe." Oh, we'll go here because it's really restaurant. So you are actually effectively making choices for people, even though you don't like making choices.
And you're a personal trainer, so you're helping them.
Yes, you're making the choice of exercises. And
yeah, but if someone asked me yes or no, I'd say I don't want to make that decision.
But it all depends what it is.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not my life to decide. Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do. Or, like, you text me, I text Liz, and Liz texts you.
Yeah. We make each other's
decision.
You've got to write down what it is. You've got to write down what it is on a piece of paper, and then you've got to send the message yes or no, and then whatever answer you get back, whatever's going on that piece of paper is.
Well, I'm now on a train to London, Michael. Thank you, mate. I'm just.
Yeah, whoever's got me, just a bit up. Yep.
Awesome. Right.
Brilliant.
Liz, Michael, have you got anything else you want to mention about the paradox of choice?
No.
Just other than I'd like to quite read up on it. Like, is there like a book or?
I'll write a book for you. That's right.
Page 1, chapter 1. Flip a coin.
Yeah. Just say yes.
Definitely flip a coin.
Just enjoy it. Whatever the question is, enjoy it.
Yeah, and remember, you only live once. So.
Yes, I love that. All right then.
And if you're not going to get told off by someone, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't ask permission, just ask forgiveness, as Drake would say.
It's your it's your life at the end of the day, isn't it? So there you go.
Well, guys, from us here at the Elite Thinking Club, we haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button and follow and check out more of our videos. But yeah, the paradox of choice. Liz, Michael, thanks for joining me again tonight. Appreciate you guys as always. And from me and the guys then, everyone watching, peace and love.
Bye.